You hear it before you see it. A low rumble rolling across the horizon. Thunder that doesn't stop. And then, through the storm, you see him. Thor. Not the noble avenger, not the quippy warrior, but the god of thunder in his truest form. His eyes glow with stormlight. In his hand, Mjolnir hums with energy pulled from a dying star. Then, the hammer drops. We're not talking about a lightning strike or a city-level blow. Thor's god blasts have staggered Galactus, wounded the Phoenix Force, and even halted a multiversal collapse. That's power on a scale humanity can't measure. So what happens if Thor turned that full force on Earth? Could humanity survive a god hitting us with everything he has? By the end of this guide, we'll trace Thor from myth to Marvel science and know exactly how long we'd last. Thor is one of the oldest gods still alive in human imagination. Long before Marvel Comics gave him a cape, Norse tribes told stories of the Thunderbringer. Thor wasn't just a hero, he was weather itself. His hammer, Mjolnir, cracked giant skulls and leveled mountains, but every storm he summoned flattened villages too. Protection and destruction were inseparable. In myth, Thor drank from a horn tied to the ocean, draining so much water the tides still shift because of it. He wrestled Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent whose body wrapped the planet. He killed giants with casual swings of Mjolnir, but Ragnarok, the end of the world, was always his fate. Thor would slay the serpent, but its poison would kill him in return. Even victory was apocalypse. Marvel scaled up. Where Norse Thor cracked mountains, comic Thor fights Celestials who wield star-level energy. Where myth Thor wrestled a serpent as large as Earth, comic Thor slams against Galactus, who devours worlds for breakfast. Mjolnir's storm power that once terrified villages now spans continents. His Ragnarok is no longer a single world ending, it's multiversal collapse. That's the terrifying through line. Thor has always been protector and destroyer. Myth gave us the storms that drowned coastlines. Marvel gave us the God Blast that could shatter planets. So when we ask, could Earth survive Thor's strongest attack? We're not inventing a new question. We're carrying forward the same one Vikings whispered during storms. What happens when the God of Thunder doesn't hold back? Thor isn't a superhero. He's a biological fortress. Comics describe Asgardians as 3 times denser than humans. A man Thor's size should weigh 220 pounds. Thor? Closer to 650. Every pound is muscle, bone, and tissue, reinforced by elder god DNA. In Thor number 338, a starship cannon vaporizes mountains. Thor walks away bloodied, but fighting. Vaporizing a cubic mile of granite takes 4.4 times 10 to the 15th joules, 1,000 times Hiroshima. For Thor, that's Tuesday. In Thor Annual number 5, he takes direct celestial blasts. Celestials wield star-level outputs, billions of times Earth's arsenal. Thor stumbles, but he endures. Myth echoes this. Thor once wrestled old age itself, disguised as a woman, and only fell when time conquered him. Marvel makes it physics. Adun's golden apples keep Asgardians ageless by replacing damaged cells endlessly. Imagine a body where every bit of cancer or heart disease is instantly repaired. Thor bleeds when struck by foes on his level. Galactus, the Midgard serpent, gods with destructive outputs comparable to supernovae. Against them, he's mortal. Against Earth, he's untouchable. This biology isn't just durability, it's compatibility. Only Thor can wield Mjolnir without disintegrating. The hammer isn't just enchanted, it's a storm engine. And Thor is the only living battery strong enough to hold it. Mjolnir isn't just a hammer, it's a cosmic amplifier. Forged from Uru metal in the heart of a dying star, Mjolnir channels Thor's storm power into raw energy. The signature attack, the God Blast. In Thor number 388, one God Blast staggers Galactus, who consumes planets. To hurt him, Thor's output must rival Earth's gravitational binding energy, 2.2 times 10 to the 32nd joules. For scale, the Tsar Bomba, the largest nuke ever detonated, was 2.1 times 10 to the 17th joules. Thor's blast is about a quadrillion times stronger. In myth, Mjolnir leveled mountains. In comics, it threatens ecosystems. In Thor number 175, he summons storms that span continents. A real hurricane spans 300 miles, with winds at 200 miles per hour. Thor's storms cover thousands of miles, winds exceeding Mach 1. Lightning strikes at 10 gigajoules per bolt. One strike could flatten Manhattan. And then there's the worthiness enchantment. Odin bound Mjolnir so only the worthy can lift it. Myth explained this as destiny. Only Thor's essence fit the hammer. Science explains it as protection. Without Thor's god-forged body, channeling Mjolnir's storms would fry a human nervous system instantly. Mjolnir is less a weapon than a controlled extinction device. On Earth, a single god blast wouldn't be an attack. It would be the end. Thor's baseline is already godlike, but mythology and comics both give him forbidden upgrades. The Megangord belt comes straight from Norse legend. It doubles Thor's strength. Myths describe him using it to lift Jormungandr, the serpent wrapped around Earth. In comics, Thor number 272, it lets him double cosmic feats. But there's a price. The belt drains him, burning centuries of stamina in minutes. Imagine sprinting a marathon at full tilt. You might make it, but you'll collapse at the finish. Then, there's Warrior's Madness. In myth, berserkers fought in a trance state, pain dulled, strength manipulated. Marvel pushes that to divine scale. In Thor number 502, Warrior's Madness increases his power tenfold. But Thor loses judgment. He lashes out at friend and foe alike. Odin himself once had to stop him. It's divine adrenaline. The science tracks. Adrenaline in humans gives bursts of unnatural strength but reduces fine motor control. Thor's version magnifies that until one misplaced swing could fracture continents. Both myth and Marvel agree. Thor can always push harder, but his biology and mind strain under the weight. Each power-up is a gamble. More power at the cost of sanity or survival. And when even that isn't enough, Thor reaches beyond biology into something far stranger. The Odinforce. The Odinforce, later Thor Force, is inherited godhood. Myths hinted at it. Odin's sacrifice at the Mimir Well, where he gave an eye for knowledge of fate. Marvel makes it explicit. The Odinforce grants mastery of time, matter, and life itself. In Thor number 161, Thor merges with Odinforce with power cosmic to drain Galactus. In Thor number 350, he resurrects the dead. This is control at universal scale. Entropy reversed, ecosystems rewritten. Then comes Rune King Thor. After sacrificing himself and learning rune magic in Thor Disassembled, he gains perception of reality's threads. In myth, Odin hung from Yggdrasil to gain runes. Marvel expands it. Thor sees fate itself and cuts it. He severs the Norn's loom, unraveling destiny across multiverses. At Odinforce scale, Earth's survival is already gone. Thor could erase our atmosphere, stop time, or destabilize orbit. This is the final echo of Ragnarok. Myth said Thor dies slaying the serpent, ending the world. Marvel says Thor ascends, and the end spreads beyond worlds to reality itself. So what happens if Thor unleashes everything on Earth? At baseline, with Mjolnir, a single god blast could vaporize continents. Lightning alone could level cities. Earth as we know it wouldn't last days. With Megangord or Warrior's Madness, Thor could multiply strength, but risk madness. Humanity wouldn't see a savior or even an enemy. We'd see a nuclear meltdown with a god at the center. With Odinforce, survival is gone. Thor could unmake ecosystems by accident, stop oceans, freeze tectonics, collapse energy into entropy. Life ends not in fire, but in silence. And with Rune King Thor, there's no survival question left. He wouldn't just destroy Earth, he'd cut us from reality, editing humanity out of existence. The verdict is brutal. Against Thor's strongest attack, Earth has zero chance. The only variable is speed. Seconds under a god blast, weeks under storms, instant erasure under Rune King. Myth always painted Thor as a savior and apocalypse. Marvel just gave him modern scale. He protects Earth because if he turned, there'd be no Earth left to protect. The real question isn't if Earth would survive, it's how quickly we'd vanish. But maybe that's the point. We tell stories of gods like Thor because they remind us what power really is. Something awe-inspiring, something terrifying, and something no human could ever endure. So, what do you think? If Thor dropped a god blast on Earth, would humanity last minutes or never have existed at all? And who else in Marvel or myth could rival that level of destruction? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want more survival guides through the deadliest gods and monsters, hit subscribe, because next time we'll ask whether even Superman could survive his own sun.